Hi, if you're new around here, I'm Max and this is Rose. She's a Mercedes-Benz 310D Luton van. She's also very rusty and needs a lot of work. I plan to do most of the welding and repairs myself to get her through the first MOT in 5 years. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to come along for the ride. Today is MOT Re-test day. Washer fluid is topped up and rear light has been changed. Let's check it's not in gear. And smooth. Slight squeak. I'm not sure what it is. Only happens for about the first 30 seconds on startup. Apologies then, the microphone wasn't plugged in, and last time I tried to start the engine, the microphone wasn't working, so that's why there was no audio in the last video. So yeah, MOT Re-test day. Everything's ready. I've installed a head unit in the van. We have a look over there. It's the one out of Lenny, and some speakers in the ceiling. So exciting stuff. We're getting there. Oh, and also I've got a cab mat down here now. You can see the cab mat's down here. That's a clip from my toolbox. But yeah, so that covers all of that, and then what's left is going to be covered in carpet one day. So yeah, welcome back to another video. I forgot to say that because I'm cutting time fine. I need to leave soon. So yeah, but exciting stuff. And then today I should be insured, taxed and MOT'd on the van, which is going to be so excited. So fully road legal. So if you've been following on the series, you'll know it's been one hell of a journey. If you haven't caught up on all of the videos, I'll put a card up here to the playlist with all of the restoration videos from day one when I was just taking the cab apart to day now when the box is off and I've been fully welded the chassis and painted everything. And it's been one hell of a 8 months it's been, but 6 months solid work probably, because there was a couple of months I was away and during the summer and stuff. So exciting stuff. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do, and if you haven't liked this video, make sure you do, because it's a big day for Rose. She should be road legal for the first time in 5 years, which is going to be so exciting. She's done, like, even between the last MOT and now, she's only done like 500 miles, so nothing really. My dad's also got his MOT today, so all exciting stuff. And yeah, as I say, hit the bell icon, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in a bit. And there it is, a pass, 247,000 miles on the 21st, on solstice. Happy solstice, everyone. Hello everyone. I'm currently recording this on Saturday, Christmas Eve. I have been absolutely mega busy since the MOT. I took Rose to Audi on the way back because I thought, I taxed it and I was like, what's the point in just going straight back? I might as well, you know, make the most of the fact that I'm now taxed and insured and MOT'd. So I did. I took a nice trip. That was all fun. And then when I got back, I've been wondering when to put the box on because my friend can't do it till the first week of January, and I wanted to go away kind of mid-January, and it's just kind of leaving everything a little bit too last minute. Don't know why it's not focusing on me. The aluminium came last week during, I think, when I was recording. So I put the aluminium on the back. I didn't film any of that either, but that's just putting a bit of aluminium on. I'll show you how I did it. I've got some clips actually. I did film a bit actually, I did, but for the Patreon, so I'll put that in here. I'll try and mangle its way in right now. So, hello everyone, this is what it's looking like. So it's all sealed up, as you can see, and then here, there's the sealant there, tech screws in the side, nicely wrapped round, and now I'm going to cut the aluminium for the sides and do what I said at the bottom, and then yeah, coming together. By the way, this is my old blade. This is the new one. So that one's got some broken teeth, so I don't mind using the aluminium. So far so good. Postman's here, I think it's my light. Quick before my never-ending battery dies, because it's always dying. I actually managed to get the actual Hella one as well, in England, for 23 quid. Bargain. Ready? There go the screws. All nice black screws. So, let's fit this light. I gotta get a battery for one. Try and do it before my camera dies again, because I'm still using the same battery. Let's see the difference. This is nice. I bet if you bought the fake non-Hella ones, it wouldn't come with the anti-screw falling out way. But yeah, look at that. I'm going to need a new other side one, because look at the state of that. Yeah, minging. And it's even got the proper reflector, Hella badge and everything. Let's fit this, and my camera's going to die again. Yeah, look at that. Nice and shiny. Not a thing on it. And then look at this one, just dirty, scratched, old, a bit cracked down there. But yeah, it's on. I'm going to swap my battery so it doesn't keep dying. Apologies for the terrible light, everyone, but there we are. Top bit's on, and the side bit, which I didn't film much of, and it kind of blends in nicely there. Does like a 45, well, it's probably not. It's so what I was saying before the camera shut me off, I still never changed the battery, was I cut out a bit of that there, and then cut this, and it's going to have the nice end piece as I was saying. And then I've also repaired this panel here using a bit of the plastic from the offcut over there, and a bit of the fiberglass, which I cut bigger to kind of sandwich it. I need to put a screw in there to hold that in for tonight while the CT1 goes off, Obi-Wan even. But yeah, I'm really happy with that and how everything's turned out, and tomorrow I'll do the inside bit. As you can see, there's the plastic that I've put in, and then also I need to put beta sealant down. So as you can see, I got the aluminium on. I can't think off the top of my head what else I've been doing. So if you look back here, the ply is now off the back of the van. One thing I need to do is touch up this where the ply rubbed it off, the paint. Then I'm going to wax over the inside of the chassis using Denitral, and possibly do like the leaf springs with a bit of this Denitral I've got left over. This is not the cavity stuff. I'm going to put the cavity stuff inside the chassis. These are all the nuts and bolts. M10s with nice big 2.5mm washers and a nylock nut. Not that the camera's focusing today. There you are. So nylock nut, 2.5mm washers. So yeah, that's. So I can't think what I've been doing these last few days, but I've been on it with things. So let's go show you the back of them. So I've had a disaster with my laptop as well. It won't power off battery, so it'll only do the power adapter, and when you're using it on power adapter, it just randomly shuts off when like you click something, and then it surges the power and cuts it off. So absolute nightmare. So there probably won't be many videos after this. There's going to be this retest video, and then there's going to be putting the box back on. So I've decided I'm going to do that Tuesday. Exciting stuff. So the day after this video comes out, hopefully, as long as I get it out on time. But anyway, so if I show you this corner, because this one's a bit nicer, although in a hedge. I finally capped this off. This is just shoved in here. This will come off, but so I'm going to put that in properly. So I've put some paint on it, just one coat so far, but it's shiny aluminium. It might just come off. I should have sanded it first really, but hey ho. I didn't with this and it started coming off here. You live and you learn, or you don't, because I've just done it again. But yeah, I finally got the end caps on, as I was explaining in that other bit of footage. Sorry, this video is a bit of a mash-up. I've also got little vents for the insulation in, because the insulation will breathe. In fact, that's something I wanted to address, because a couple of people said a couple of questions in the last video. So one person saying, why would you use breathable membrane? Surely you want the vapours not to go. Now I haven't looked into this again, so I didn't mean to do some googling before I told you a lot, but I think the breathable membrane is only like, it only lets moisture, air through at kind of specific temperatures or something. I'm unsure about that, but basically the idea is with sheep's wool, it repels the water rather than absorbs the water, like rock wool for example. so you can get away without a vapor barrier. Van Monkeys on Instagram is a perfect example. They insulated their Luton box with no insulation. They insulated their Luton box with no vapor barrier, and they put like vents inside, like I have. Now my thinking was, now Emma from CJ, Emma and Lance and Project Ember, she used the same stuff, breathable membrane and sheep's wool. So I know it's done in a van by her, and I haven't heard her say anything bad about it. And the idea of the breathable membrane is it will, with a vapor barrier, you'll never get a perfect seal. There'll be holes, especially in panel vans. It will find its way through the outside even, and you'll get moisture in. And the idea of having the breathable membrane is that in the summer when it's all dry, it can dry out with the vents in the side and everything. And yes, some moisture might get in, but it'll also get out. Whereas if you've got a vapor barrier that's got like a tiny hole, it might build up and not be able to get out very easily. That's how I understand it, at least. And for me, I think it's great. I didn't put any vapor barrier in my second van, and then this one I decided to put a breathable membrane, and I feel like a breathable membrane, some kind of extra layer after the insulation in between your wood, especially if you leave like a 20mm air gap like I was saying, it adds a bit extra insulation, because you've got your wood which is kind of insulating, and then you've got a bit of air gap, and then you've got your insulation, so it just adds a bit of gap to the wall on top of your insulation. But anyone could do what they want. If you wanted to put a vapor barrier, if you wanted to go no vapor barrier, if you wanted to make it, that's what I kind of want, a breathing box, so that nothing's completely sealed. That's the aim. So the thing I did that I haven't filmed is I put lights up here, 4 of them. I was going to do them here and here, and then obviously you'd have the one on the van, so it would look quite cool with 6. But then I thought, might as well make it match the front with having 4 at the top, and then I might put like a strobe light there and there, so in the middle, and then some down the sides, because you know I love my lights, and when I had the strobe lights on Lenny, if you were behind me or to the side, you couldn't see I got my strobe lights on, so that's no good. So I'm going to put strobe lights at the back, and I know it's not to everyone's taste. Some people will think there's no point. There is no point, it's just for a bit of fun, really. Make it cool for pictures and going to events. So what I'm doing right now is that's why I've opened the camera, turn the camera on, because I want to show you how and what I'm doing. So if you look under here, this is the bottom of the box before it goes back on. Now, if you can see in there, this is aluminium, the C-section of the box, and then these are steel brackets, and as you can see, no matter how many layers of paint you do, aluminium and steel create an electronic or an electro reaction that basically means you cannot stop it with paint. You have to have a physical barrier, and obviously whoever designed this box either didn't care or didn't know or didn't do that much research, because over time it's expanded, and obviously here with it being solid it can't really go anywhere, whereas here, as you can see, it's kind of bent it up, so that's kind of straight like that. In fact, yeah, that is straight, yeah. So you can see what it's done to the C-section of the box. Now these back ones, because there's 4 so close together and it's the back, and I've chopped most of the back off, I'm going to leave these ones as is, because they're not that bad compared to some of the others. So this one being the worst one, if I just take this bracket off, as you can see daylight through there, so that's not going to hold much. But the reason the box never fell off is, well, it could have got this bad in the field or wherever it was kept when it got so bad for 5 years. But with the brackets being shaped like this, obviously it can't go left or right, the box, because it's being held by these which are bolted to the chassis, and then the other one obviously does the other thing. So I'll show you what I've done on the other side. These 2 are the worst, because this is where the wheel sits, and this, you can see this plate they've kind of protected the box with, and then this was their attempt at a wheel arch, but obviously I've got proper wheel arches now, and I'm probably going to screw them into here, into the ply floor. So yeah, these 2 are the worst, with them being just behind the wheel. So this one I already did last night, and as you can see, or not, because it's all black, this one was just as bad. So what I've done is I've put a like a watertight membrane that you'd use in your house. It's just some plastic sheeting stuff that's some under the caravan that I'm just cutting up little strips, and then I've used some OB1 CT1, some sealant, and sealed this so no moisture can get behind and kind of corrode the alley too much. And then over this side I've used nuts and bolts, because they used headless rivets before, as you can see here, although this is to bolt this to this, but you can get the idea. So what I've done is I've put a massive 2mm plate. I straightened the angle that I put on the back out, and that's why it's got that line in, and then I bolted it with M6 bolts with washers and flange nuts. And they're pretty strong, and as you can see, more OB1 squeezing out from the outside to kind of hold that together, because it was like that one with the cracks around it. But this is not crazy important because there's no force pulling the bolts apart. It's only up and down when you're over a bump, and back and forth, front and back, obviously when you brake and accelerate, or wind and stuff. But in terms of left and right, which is probably the biggest force when you go around a corner, it's going to be alright, because, as I say, the brackets go around here, so it should be strong. I mean, it didn't fall off when it was on the lorry and stuff, although he did strap it over here because he didn't trust. But actually it was unbolted, all the bolts were cut. So that's what I'm doing. This one's not bolted in yet, it's just put in because there's no washers. I'm putting washers around these as well. This one's not great. So what I'm going to use now is this, which I cut out of the top of the... What I'm going to use for the other ones is this, which is, I think, like 1.5mm alley, or maybe 1mm alley. And I've cut 2 squares out of this one, and then I've drilled some holes in it, the same, and this is going to do a similar job. This one's not quite as thick though, or as heavy duty as the other one. So if I show you that one, I don't know if you'll be able to tell the thickness difference. Oh, you kind of can. But yeah, so the bad ones will have this 2mm alley. So that one's going to go back there. And then this one, which isn't great because it's kind of corroded around this side. But obviously it hasn't got any holes around it. But I'm just going to reinforce it with one of them anyway. And then yeah, again, that's just a precautionary measure. It will be fine. I know it will be. And the front two, this one I did re-bolt on. I forgot to put some plastic on, but I've only done them finger tight, so I will put some plastic on that one. And then this one didn't need to come off because there's no corrosion, it's not too bad, but I did put a bolt in there because it was missing one of the rivets for some reason. And the front ones have been tampered with before, and that's where the brackets are different on the chassis. And someone put U-bolts around the chassis, which is quite a good idea. With the Luton, it might want to try and pull up. But I know loads of Lutons that don't have it, so again, it should be okay, because these ones will be solid. There's no corrosion around these two. So if those ones fail, then we've got these ones at least. So I've painted the bottom of the C-section, as well as in the ones I've taken off, all with chassis paint, because it dries nice and quick, and it's pretty strong stuff. From what I've seen so far. So this is now going to bolt here, and what I'm going to do is squirt a load of OB1 around there, whack that on there, and then put the plastic on with more OB1 against the plastic, and bolt that through there with all the washers and nuts and bolts, and then that's it. Lots of OB1 to seal it. A physical barrier between the steel and aluminium, and yeah, lots of nuts and washers, and a reinforcing plate on the back. The OB1's quite useful for sticking the plastic on like that. Apologies, you can't really see, the camera's too low, isn't it? There we are. So you can see the bead of OB1 I put round, and then let's stick that round a bit as well. Why not? Let's just take it all the way around. And then get a drill with the 6mm drill bit, find the hole, or do it from this side. It's just I really want to get this box on by New Year's and go somewhere for New Year's, which I probably won't film. One, because of the faff of editing the videos at the moment with my laptop being broken. And two,
I probably won't do it because being around people, it'll be the first time my van's out and about and stuff, and you know, I just want to enjoy it kind of thing. Now to do that one, and put the plastic and tighten that one up, and then I got to wax oil, as I said, the inside of the chassis, and take the ladders that I've been borrowing to do all the aluminium and top stuff back to the neighbour, and he's got the high lift jack that I can borrow because my friend's not available, so I need to ask him about that, check it for Tuesday, and we're all good. And that'll be the end of this video because yeah, I kind of forgot where this video started, ended, and then I just looked and it was MOT sheet, and then my camera died in the cab, and then I went to Audi, as I said, and I was taxing the van in the car, van, so exciting. Yeah, first maiden voyage on less than a week away. Get the box back on. I want to take it to the weighbridge because I'm going to take all the stuff out so it's lighter when we lower the box down, and then when it's on, a just insulated box with no burner, or it's going to pretty much be empty, I'll take it to the weighbridge, weigh it just because I'm interested, and then I kind of see what the van, the box. I think the van weighs about 2 ton. I didn't get it weighed on the way back from the MOT, but hopefully with the box on, with some insulation, maybe 2.5, 2.6 ton. No more than 2.6. I want it to be less than 2.5 really, and then I've got ton payload to add all my stuff and build cupboards and put like the ceiling and walls on. So it's tight, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll do. Yeah, and crack on, and I'll catch you guys when I'm drilling holes in the chassis to put the cavity stuff inside the chassis.